If work stress has you waking up tense and replaying brutal conversations over, and over again, then I want you to watch this episode all the way through. Greg breaks down how to take deep breaths, take perspective, and respond with kindness when they come in hot. Because kindness isn't weakness, it's control. Let's dive in. My name is Daniel Best, and welcome to Best Path Forward, where we talk about personal development tools that we use to find the best path forward in our lives. Today I'm joined by Greg.
Dan the man.
Greg the man.
How we doing?
I'm pretty good. It's been very hard to schedule you for this.
I'm a busy man, Dan. What can I say?
You're a busy guy.
Moving and shaking.
Moving and shaking. What have you been moving and shaking with?
Work.
Driving
around. Kentucky, Michigan, you name it.
Kentucky's fun.
It's an interesting place. I enjoy it down there.
Why is it interesting?
You know, when you're in just the back roads, you see some people, you talk to some people, it keeps you on your toes.
Wait, you stop your car and start talking to people?
Well, if I'm going to a gas station or something, I'm going to, how you doing? You know?
What do they say?
Get out of here.
Oh, no, that's an aggressive...
You northerner.
Northerner? You're from Ohio and they're calling you a northerner.
Oh, man, it's ruthless down there.
It's ruthless. So what's your favorite thing about Kentucky, if anything?
I'd say the weather, which is very vague, but you also got to keep in mind, like when it's in Columbus, wintertime, snowy, it's like 20 to 30 degrees warmer usually where I'm at. So
in Kentucky?
Yeah, like I go like southern Kentucky.
Oh,
like Hopkinsville,
SoCal.
Bowling Green stuff. Yeah.
I almost said SoCo, but I don't think that's a thing. SoCo's Southern Comfort, SoCal, Southern California.
You got bourbon on your mind.
You got bourbon on my mind. I wonder why. Who knows?
No clue.
It'll be a mystery to everyone, especially those only listening. That's funny. So, Greg, I start with a simple question. What's your story?
My story?
Your story.
Oh, that's a loaded one. I would just say I'm a guy who enjoys having a good time and just trying to get by. Not really much more than that. I'm just kind of out here taking it day by day.
Day by day. So what you said is you're just a guy.
Yep.
Who enjoys having a good time.
Very true.
All right. So what does it mean to just be a guy?
I just kind of go about my day. I try not to let the little things really bother me too much.
Oh, that's a good one.
And then when the big things hit, try to take emotion out of it and look at it, fact-based and handle the situation as it comes along.
I think taking emotions out of things is very hard. I think sometimes the worst decisions I've ever made have been based on emotion, and I didn't let myself kind of calm down from that state, and I'm made a rash decision. Have you done that before?
Oh yeah, I've had it when I was younger. I was a hothead. Not like I wasn't like swinging on people, but like I would get really loud, louder than I normally am. And then I got a little older, you talk to some people in the workforce that have been through, kind of been in your shoes. And then just applying it to like discussions at work or, arguments at work. When both people are just in a shouting match, nothing ever gets done. At all. Usually for me, it's like, okay, I'll let you get what you want to get out. And then I'm going to tell you what I think I'm going to do to try and, get out of the situation. So it's helped a lot. Yeah. I know I had a call this week where a couple guys started to get defensive and, rather than just trying to like pin it on them, it's just like, hey, this is the situation we're in. Doesn't matter who messed up. Like, this is how we're going to get out of it. Yeah. I think that's huge. I think a lot of times when people kind of have that initial hit of aggression, it just makes their blood boil as you hear it. I don't think their blood's actually boiling. I don't think your body temperature changes a whole lot. I'm not a scientist, but bro science. I don't think your blood is boiling because you'd probably be dead. But that's the expression. My blood is boiling. I'm so angry. And they kind of hit that moment. So I guess when that moment happens for you, what do you do to kind of get yourself back to a baseline level? For me, I'll typically just take a couple deep breaths and try and keep things in perspective. I know, in just the work life, it's easy to get kind of consumed with, this is all I'm doing. If this doesn't work, I'm going to, die. Yeah. No, you're not. Chances are you're probably not going to die. Yeah. Certain, jobs you might, but not anything that I do, so. Same thing with me. My job is
why am I getting so upset about this? Like, we're trying to make like the world for a certain product a little bit better, but we're not doing anything like changing the world. We're not like out there like saving lives. We're like saving like people's budget, ideally. Like, that's the best case scenario. But other than that, I'm like, you know what? No one's likely going to die because someone messed up. It might cost us money. It might cost us time. But you know what? We can figure this out. So why am I getting myself so wrapped up in emotions for my job? It doesn't make a lot of sense. So deep breaths, that's a big one.
And also, I like killing people with kindness.
Oh.
One of my favorite things is like when you get a nasty email or someone calls you and is just screaming at you, to just be like overly nice. Because then I'm like, now you feel bad.
Now you feel bad.
Or you don't, and I can know that, I don't know, gave you a smile.
Yeah.
Said, have a good one. Like, you just chewed my ear off for 30 minutes, but hope you have a good day. And then kind of let them leave with that.
And they kind of think about it, like, you know what? Maybe I did act poorly. And I'm like, yeah, you did.
Maybe they think that. Maybe they think this guy sucks. But either way, I can have a little smile on my face because I'm like, you probably, for a split second, were like, did I overreact? And then that's all I want.
Well, the big thing about it is, like, I try to take a very, like, stoic approach to things. Like, focus on the things I can control and let go of the rest. Like, I can control being kind to someone else. Whether they receive it or not receive it, since I can't control it, I can't put a lot of energy into that.
Yeah.
All I can do is just focus on my own actions. I focus on my actions. If they reciprocate with the kindness, cool. If they don't, all right. But at the same time, at least I know I'm leaving the situation, just focus on the things I can control. And I made their day a little bit better.
And I will say that controlling what you can control and not worrying about the other stuff was huge, because there's certain times where it's like, you're, at least in my role, you're kind of the point guard, I guess you could say. Like, you alert the people that need to be alerted and you set everything up, but there's stuff that I can't do.
I have a question. What's a point? Is that a basketball term?
Yeah.
I know basketball is a game. I'm not sure what the position is.
So it's like the guy who always has the ball and just kind of passes it to people, lets them score. And like for me, it's like, all right, once it's out of my hands, you know, you can kind of monitor it, maybe nudge them a little bit to, you know, a couple hours go by and nothing's happening. Hey, can you know, what's going on here? But once I realize, like, all right, I'm going to do what I can do, control what I can control, and then everything else is just going to kind of go how it goes.
Yeah.
Once I kind of started to do that, I feel like some of the stress goes away. You know, you're not waking up in cold sweats in the middle of the night. Like, oh my gosh. It's like, well, I've done what I can do. Yeah. Now it's kind of up to somebody else. How can I help you? Or what can I do for you? But they don't want your help. You're like, all right, well, please get it done, because I don't want to get yelled at. But.
Exactly. Like, it has to get done. Either you want my help or you don't. If you don't want my help, you know, bravo.
Exactly.
Go get it done, champ. But chances are, I mean, if they can't get it done, it still sucks.
Yeah.
So you've woken up in a cold sweat before because of work?
Yeah, a couple of times.
My gosh.
But that was when I was a little bit younger. Like, stuff was like really getting to me. I couldn't close the lid and be done. It was like, I closed the lid and I'm still like on my phone looking at emails, you know, doing all this stuff. And it's like, dude, it's 11:30. No one's up. No one's going to be doing stuff. Why are you worried about this? Like, it'll be a tomorrow problem at that point. So
one thing that's kind of helped me kind of grow in my role in general is like, there's likely always going to be something to do, like work-wise.
Yeah.
It's like, I know even if I spent the next 8, 9, 10 hours doing this, it still wouldn't be done. But I know what will happen if I spent 10 hours doing this one thing in this one day. I wouldn't have time for like working out or getting the right fuel in me or socializing with friends, things that make us human beings. At that point, work consumes you and you're not being able to enjoy your life.
And I think we've all had those days where it's like, you know, you start at 8, you're popping in Zens or whatever you do.
Zones.
And then zones.
I'm too poor for Zens.
I'm going poor because of Zens, but
see what I mean?
You start, you know, you pop a couple of those, you just dial in. Next thing you know, it's like 2:00 and you're like, I haven't eaten. And
At
like,
all.
I like to eat. So like, if I don't eat, I'm like, man, now I'm hangry, as they say. But I got an off the wall question for you. And I asked you this, I think at the gym or something.
Yeah.
But like when you're going into a meeting, or I know like when you're going to the courtroom, was there like a routine that you would do leading up to it outside of like preparing? Like, did you read a book? Did you listen to certain music that would like get you going? Like, what was your, okay, now it's go time?
Yeah. So there's one song in particular. It's called Moonlight Sonata.
Okay.
By Hidden Citizens. You don't know what that is, do you?
I do not.
Yeah. So there's not like a lot of like lyrics to it. In fact, there's no lyrics. It's all just like orchestral.
Okay.
Orchestral. Just music.
It's
only,
orchestra
right?
stuff.
Orchestra stuff.
There it is.
It's like this like kind of EDM mix of like a classical music song.
Okay.
And it's one of my favorite songs of all time. And I heard this classical music and I'm just like, oh wow, that really hits. So it kind of helps me level set, put the earbuds in, AirPods. And it's like, you know what? I got this. And it just kind of helps me settle because it helps me cut out the world around me. And I kind of know how that song's going to like have an impact on me. And so that's kind of one of my big routines. It's like if I'm going to something big and I know I need to like kind of be on point for something, I just blast it. It's about 3 minute and 23-second song. And I take it out. I'm like, all right, game time.
I think that's the best thing to do, at least in my opinion. Because that's typically what I'll do before I go into a meeting. Got a song that I'm like, this is what I'm playing. It kind of gets you all right, it's go time.
I assume it's Lil Wayne.
Shockingly, it's not. It's Big X the Plug, the largest.
Big X the Plug, the largest.
Oh, yeah. This song, like, I was taking a couple people up to see a customer, and I told them, it was in Cleveland, so like 2-hour drive.
Yeah.
I said, you guys got an hour and 50 on the aux. But when we're 10 minutes out, like,
it's my time.
It's my time.
So what is it about that song?
It just makes me feel like I'm the biggest, the largest.
The biggest, what's the name of it?
It's called The Largest.
The Largest.
And I don't know. It makes me like feel like I'm like, yeah. I am that guy.
Does it have words to it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's like a rap song.
A rap song.
After this, I'll show you Big X the Plug.
You got to drop a bar. Don't get canceled dropping a bar though.
He just says that he's the biggest, the largest, and I'm like, well, I want to be the biggest.
Yeah.
I want to be the largest. So then I walk in and I'm like, I can bench more than you. So therefore,
you can't bench more than me.
I'm running this conversation.
I mean, you can't bench more than me.
I haven't benched in a while.
I can't bench because, shoulder issues.
I'm dealing with the same thing. Well, similar thing.
Oh, same thing or similar thing?
Similar. We're working through it.
We're getting through it. I dig that.
But it's just one of those songs that, like, kind of to your point, I'm like, all right, when I hear it, I put it on, I'm like, I know, because I've done it, however many times. It's like, when this comes on, once it ends, like, turn off the car. Now you're in front of the customer. Game face.
Game face. So all that was stemming from the question of what's a good guy, by the way. So you know the second question, right? The second thing you said was, I like to have a good time. So what does that mean?
Well, there's a lot of things that I do that I'm like, this is to have a good time. Like, as you've seen, we'll go out, we'll have, a few drinks, get a little loose.
A little bit.
Just, live it up.
Yeah.
Obviously going to the gym's something that I consider a good time.
I think so too.
Like, it's a good way to start the morning or in the day. You can kind of, any stress that's lingering, you can kind of get that out. And plus, like, who doesn't like a pump? That's one of my favorite things in the world.
It's the best.
And then, like, for me, like, golfing, just kind of spending time with, like, family, friends. Like, so my parents are down in South Carolina now. My dad flew up on Tuesday for, like, chiropractor stuff.
Yeah.
So I took Tuesday off. We just hung out, did some stuff around my apartment that needed to get taken care of. And, like, I value that stuff because it's like I'm not going to see him very often. Like, when my parents are up, my mom's up. That, to me, is, like, a good time because it's, like, I don't know. I'm just hanging out with people I care about. And it kind of, you can push away the stress of work and just bills and all that fun stuff.
I think that's huge. I mean, because, like, we have work, to get a paycheck. And then we use that paycheck to, like, pay for bills and everything. But you also have to remember, like, the fun part about life.
Yeah.
And so one of my favorite things about you, Greg, is the fact that whenever I get to the gym, like, we have a pretty similar, like, seeing each other's schedule. Like, I see you, and by the time I get there, because I'm a slacker, you're already, like, ending with cardio.
You've been up for 3 hours already doing cardio?
I mean, 3.5, but no.
3.5 hours doing cardio?
But, like, I see you there consistently, and I remember when I first started seeing you in the gym, you always have, like, this big smile on your face and just, like, happy and pushing astronomical numbers of weights. And it's very encouraging to see. I believe you were working out with Brett, and now you got Tom involved, too. And it's just cool to kind of see that positive energy spread. So have you always been that type of gym goer?
I would say yes and no. Like, I've normally been a pretty happy guy. Like, I will always, like, if I walk into the office or whatever, I just have a big smile on my face. People have told me I'm like a golden retriever, kind of. Just like, oh my gosh, there's people here. Having 400 milligrams of caffeine kind of helps with that too. But I don't know. For me, like, the gym really became fun. Obviously, when you first start off as a high schooler, you're in the cutoff. You're like, oh, I'm huge. And like in reality, you're just starting like now. And then I think it was kind of once I started hitting some numbers I had set goals for was when I was like, okay, like this is fun. And now like stuff, going for that high number or going for the rep of this set, I think it's fun. Like pushing yourself and being like, oh my God, I'm dizzy now. It's like, this is kind of fun.
You guys are insane with the amount of weight, like especially in squats.
We have fun.
That's inspirational. Like one day I'll be up there with you all. I'm way older than you, so maybe not, but one day I'll be up there with you.
You got to get under the squat rack, Dan. I've been telling you that for years. The leg press is great, but if you want to get the numbers, and talk to Travis because he makes me look small up there. But you just got to put the weight on and you just got to embrace the suck.
I'm not talking to our resident bully who happens to be the nicest person ever. No. He'll be nice and he'll be like, can I spot you as you're doing it, young man? I'm like, yeah, come on. Yeah, maybe I should.
Use him as motivation. Be like, Travis, I'm coming for your numbers. And he'll probably start laughing. But
we all know it's not true.
But
yeah.
Like that stuff, I don't know. And it's funny to me because it's like, as you know, like with like the fitness industry and like all the people are throwing up, 600-700 pounds. And then like I'll hit what I hit and I'm like, man, I'm not big enough. I'm not strong enough. And then like you talk to somebody who, doesn't go to the gym or, is getting into it. And it's like, they kind of look at you like, you, what?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, don't do that. My ego doesn't need that.
The ego doesn't need that. A couple of things to follow up on there, which I think are huge. You said once you kind of hit your goals, you're like, oh, I can start doing this. So has goal setting always been something that you start to do?
It has. More, I'd say, as I've gotten a little bit older. Like when I was younger, obviously you're chasing 225 on a bench. You're chasing 220, just kind of I don't want to say beginning numbers, but like when you become a more, I don't want to say serious lifter because I don't really think I'm a serious lifter, but you get those numbers and you're like, okay, cool. Like what's the next step? And then once that goes from like 225 to like 315 or to like 415, then it's like, okay, now I actually have to like, that's my goal. How do I get there? And I've always been just a heavier, like a bigger guy. So, for me, squatting 225 when I was 18, 19 really wasn't anything too crazy. But like now, like my goal for the end of this year is 500.
Let's go.
I'm not going to be able to just accidentally walk into that. So, it's kind of like, all right, this is the goal. This is where I'm currently at. What steps do I need to take to get there? Who can I talk to? Because I know a lot of people at our gym that I've worked out with in the past that I've known, like, have gotten to either that number or they've got a really good regimen.
Yeah.
Like you were mentioning Brett.
Yeah.
Dude's 185 pushing 405.
It's absurd.
So he's doing something right. So kind of picking his brain. What would you recommend? Like, should I go heavy one week, then lighter, and then so like all of that, and then talking to people who are doing the weight that I want to do. It's like, all right, you're kind of getting the outline. They're giving you, hey, this is what I would do. Now it's like, all right, are you going to do it? Are you going to just, oh, that's cool. I should do that, but I'm not going to. But it keeps you motivated too.
You just said some really cool stuff there. Like you understand, like after you kind of get the newbie goals done, like for some people it's 135, other people it's 225, whatever like that newbie thing is to get to that next level. It's like, all right, I understand that I need help doing that. And rather than just kind of keeping that to yourself, you're like, no, I'm going to reach out to other people. You reach out to people, not just anyone, people that you kind of see doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
And people that are going to be open to providing you kind of guidance. And I think that's huge. And then the third part about that is not only are you seeking or raising awareness to the fact that you need a kind of assistance to do that, and also kind of finding other people that are doing that, but you realize like, oh, I can have all this information, but if I'm not doing anything with this information, it's not going to be useful for me.
Yeah.
So I think those are 3 big steps there.
Yeah. And I mean,
look at this guy.
I'm not just a pretty face, Dan. Sometimes there's a little bit more going to it.
There's a lot more going to it.
But, you see people so I came into this new role in August, and obviously, gym work, like there's always somebody that's better at it than you.
Yeah.
And, my thought is like, why would you be stubborn and be like, no, I respect and I appreciate like trying to fight through stuff, failing and learning from it, I think is huge. But if I have a question, rather than just spinning my wheels for 3 hours, I can ask someone who's been there before and be like, hey, what would you do in this situation?
Yeah.
You don't have to say, how do I handle this, but just what would you do, or do you have any advice for me, any suggestions? And then once they give you that, it's kind of up to you to like, all right, am I going to take that, or am I going to let my ego get in the way and be like, I don't need your help?
And the funny thing about that, I think when people have kind of like goals and ambitions, a lot of people don't do that. They'll keep it to themselves. They'll struggle alone for a long time. Whereas if they just ask someone for help, not only would that person be more than willing to give it, but they'll also get to the result a lot faster, saving the most valuable resource we have. Do you know what that is?
Other people?
No, time.
Oh, time. Oh, sorry.
All right, hold on.
Sorry, I respect the people. I want them to all be valuable. My time is money. Well, I don't know, that whole thing.
People are very valuable. I respect people. I love people. But the whole phrasing is, time is the one thing we can't get back. That sounds really bad when you compare it to people, because you can't really get. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
time is a valuable resource.
It's the bourbon. It's flowing a little bit.
Barstown doing us dirty.
It's just doing us so dirty.
It is.
But with the time, like I don't know if you've ever had a moment, but like, so you've known me for what, couple years probably. Yeah. Been a happy guy. I said I was always usually pretty happy, but there's you have your, we'll call them your pits,
yes,
where it's like, all right, I'm in a funk for whatever reason. And I've had, one or two of those, and then would snap myself back into perspective. And there was one time I was down in college, I'm, just come out of a test. I'm like, I don't want to be here. Like, yeah. I wanted, I didn't want to go to the school I was at, didn't want to transfer to Ohio State. And like, just kind of like pissing and moaning.
Yeah.
And like, I was walking out, looking around, like the sun was out, it was a beautiful day. And I'm like, you son of a bitch. Like, what are you doing? Like, people would literally die to be in the position you're in. And once I kind of I had that realization. Whenever I start to find myself in a funk, I kind of snap back. Like, you have a roof over your head, you got food. Like, it could be much worse.
It could be much worse.
Keeping things in perspective is, in my opinion, like, very big. And it kind of goes with the time. Like, you don't know. I've lost a lot of people that were my age, and it's like, dang, like, I could walk out here right now and drop dead.
Yeah.
Why not try to enjoy the time you have, because you just don't know when it could go.
And that's the thing about time. Everyone always assumes there's going to be a tomorrow. I bet the person who's not here today assumed it was going to be a tomorrow.
Yeah.
And they didn't have one. So it's like, not only are we lucky to be alive, but we're lucky to be like in these quote unquote privileged positions that we're in. It's like, oh, I'm bemoaning being in school.
Yep.
And a lot of people are like, I would kill for that. So I think having that perspective shift is huge. So let me ask you this though: how do you balance that without bemoaning your own problems and realizing there's like a lot of people that don't have what you have, with not minimizing your problems as well?
Oh, that's a good one. I would say I minimize them to other people, because like, unless I'm looking for help, like, I don't want to make my problems your problems. But I think just internally, I kind of know, like, is this a serious problem? Like, should you be downplaying it? Is it a perspective thing? And I think that's just kind of situational based.
So I got to ask, why do you minimize your problems unless it's a big problem?
A lot of the stuff that I would say, like, my issues are, like, they're in the big picture, they're really not that big.
Okay.
And I don't want to, I don't know, I just choose to be like, all right, I'll just keep everything internal. Like, I'll deal with it
Pressure
my
cooker.
way. I am, and that's why I go to the gym. So when I want to pop, it's like, just go to lift.
Do you talk to like your friends and family about like even the minor issues that are going on?
I would say yes. I talk to my dad a lot.
Good.
Like, him and I are very close. He's kind of the guy, like, if it's a work problem that isn't like super specific, like, how do I handle this situation? Or, obviously if it's something that I need to talk to somebody on my team, I will. But if it's just something that like somebody with the experience could help me out with, like, I was actually having a conversation with him now about, like, I'm 27, like, I want to get to this role. And he's like, you got to put the time in.
Yeah.
Like, that, me wanting to get to a certain role isn't really a big problem, but like, everyone wants to get paid more. Everyone wants, all these things. And him just be like, hey, you just got to put your time in now. And then obviously I've got a good group around me that I don't talk to them a lot about my problems, but like I know if I needed to, like I've got, a handful of people I could call and, hey, here's what I'm going through. I just need to get off my chest.
I think that's huge. I think a lot of times people will think their problems aren't important, especially when they look at the other side of the world. We see news articles like people getting bombed or, killed everywhere. It's like, oh, my problems don't matter, but they still matter to you.
Yeah. I don't know. I also like try to be pretty easygoing.
Yeah.
And like the smaller issues, it's like I don't really want to let them bother me. The bigger ones, like most of my big issues, I would say, are just like work stuff.
Yeah.
Which it's like, all right, I'm going to do all that I can. Like I want to get out of this issue, but like I'm not going to, lose too much sleep over it.
Yeah.
But as far as just like my personal problems, I would say it's just like, oh man, I got killed in COD or something like that,
Call of Duty.
Exactly.
Man, I hate that game.
I'm a zombies guy.
I don't play Call of Duty because like as soon as you spawn, they just headshot you.
I used to be a rager, which is another reason why I kind of stemmed away from like the Fortnites and, the first person shooters and stuff. I'm like, I'll just play zombies. Play my little MLB, just like, have some fun.
There we go.
Relax a little, but.
Hey, at least you're raising awareness of what those triggers are and you're avoiding them.
And, you can I feel like we all kind of know, and you can feel internally when you're like, oh, I need to settle down a little bit, or I need to go take a walk, need to, step out, something like that.
Yeah, when I lose in Super Smash Brothers, I have to do that internal breathing. I'm like, all right, that just happened.
That game gets heated.
It does.
That game gets very heated. We used to play that in college, and so I grew up with a GameCube, and like I had a sister who would always play it, and we don't, so I kind of grew up around that. We would go to college, and I could compete.
Yeah.
With the people, but like
I would destroy you in Smash Brothers.
We'll have to run it because I haven't played in a while, but I love Smash.
Sure, whatever excuse you need.
Let's do it.
That's fine. It's fine. But I would destroy you. But you can't cry and complain about it, though.
Who's your character?
Zelda, obviously.
See, I go random because I have that much confidence in my game.
Sure. Oh,
I'm like, give me whoever.
Give him whoever.
Give me Kirby.
So yeah, when I lost the last time it was to Kirby, it was very embarrassing.
So did they just do like the float up and like down
It was
smash?
a 3-man team, and it was the last stock, and I just got hit, unluckily. But it happens to the best of us.
You get them next time. That's the beauty of that game. Load it back up.
So, aside from me destroying you in Smash Brothers, once again, it wouldn't be even close. I apologize in advance because I'm going to stay quiet.
All right.
And that's how you know I got you. I'm like, he's not going to brag. I'm like, expected.
All right, you're doing a lot of talking.
A lot of talking.
We'll have to let the sticks do the talking.
Yeah, so the next time you come on this podcast, you're going to have to tell everyone what the results of that Smash Brothers competition was.
We'll live stream it.
Live stream it? You want to get embarrassed in front of the world?
Dude, I embarrass myself every day, so like, I ain't worried about it.
The funny thing is people are going to want me to lose because, they always want like, oh, you're just talking such a big game.
People are just preying on downfalls.
Exactly. There we go. So, Greg, in preparation for this podcast, you had an assignment to pick a date.
I did.
Yeah. Do you remember what that date was?
It was April 19th, 2024.
So, 4/19/2024. Anything special? You're already laughing. What's special about 4/19?
I really like April.
Yeah. Because of April Fools.
Yeah. Big joke guy.
Big joke guy.
And I just was like, man, like the 19th just seems like a good day.
19 seems like a good day.
It's a perfect day.
Perfect day.
I think it was a Saturday.
It could have been. I know it wasn't a Sunday. I know that much.
What was 420 was a Sunday.
420?
Yeah.
Oh, I see what's going on
April
here.
20th, huh? What a day that is.
Did you pick 4/19 because you didn't want to pick 4/20?
Well, you don't do bike brains on Sundays.
I do not.
So.
Coincidence. All right.
Oh, no.
I know. I'm a bum on Sundays. I apologize about that.
It's fine. It's the Lord's Day.
It is the Lord's
Day. We're supposed to rest.
Rest from bike brains. The world gets a rest from my aggressive bike brain posts. I dig that. All right, Greg. So what I'll have you do is I'll have you just kind of read to yourself what 4/19/2024 is, and I'll kind of explain what bike brains are, if that's cool with you.
That'll work.
All right, so here you go.
Thank you.
So bike brains are a tool that I use to help process the world around me, as well as my internal thoughts. I try to complete them 6 times a week, taking the 7th day off. They're generally broken down into 1 of 3 categories: mind, body, and spirit. Mind is about mental energy allocation to the rooms that you have set out for your life. We all have different rooms in our lives, be it the work room, the workout room, the friends room, family room, Super Smash Brothers room. We all enter rooms to help dedicate that mental energy there and further develop our skills in those rooms. The next is body. Body is about taking a 360 holistic approach to your own body. It's more than just the calories that you consume or the calories that you expend through working out. It's also about how you carry your stress, your anxiety levels, your sleep routine. And the last but not least is spirit. Spirit's about diving in and reaching out. Diving into your own code of conduct to figure out how you operate. What are your daily philosophies that you live by? What are the rules of you that you help manage your own kind of experiences throughout life? And the next part is reaching out. Understanding that this world is too big to tackle alone, and you need other people to kind of be in your community to really excel in life. So, Greg, did you have a chance to read that?
I did. Can I say one thing real quick?
Yeah.
There is not a prompt or anything up there. Like, he just off the dome got all that.
Yeah, off the dome.
I'm sitting here, I'm like, this dude just
off the dome?
On it right there.
That'd be awesome if I had a prompt up there.
We don't have to tell him that there's one up there. I was trying to hype you up a little bit. I was trying.
All right, there's not a prompt up there.
There's like 6 of them.
What did they say?
The whole Super Smash Bros. Discussion was just a giant bit.
All right, so where am I going next? Since there's a prompt up there.
1792.
All right, that's a bottle of empty bourbon.
We're talking bourbon, baby.
All right, sir, can I focus now?
Absolutely.
God.
Let it rip.
Let it rip. That's a great show. So this one is 4/19/2024. And this one is a mind entry. And it's called Trigger Tool. Sometimes the toughest part of dedicating mental energy to a room, especially a new one or one you haven't been in a while, is remembering to enter the room. To help create an auto reminder of the new room, create a trigger tool. No matter what the trigger is, be it setting out gym clothes the night before to trigger a workout, or placing a book next to your TV remote to trigger reading before binging a show, a trigger's real power is to snatch a bit of your mental energy and redirect it toward your objective. A warning about triggers. Triggers alone won't be enough to enter that room. A trigger is not a magic pill, but a tool. Yet that tool can be incredibly powerful. The trigger tool will snatch some mental energy. At that time, you have a choice to make. Either enter that room and spend the mental energy to grow, or disregard the trigger and let that room remain stagnant. So Greg, I like that actual back brain and the whole trigger tool, because I know when I first started working out, it was like, man, how do I stay motivated? I throw my clothes and all the things I need for the next day into my car. So I'm like, no matter what, I had to go to my car.
Yeah.
To either get my clothes and come back in or go to the gym and stick to my regular routine. By now it's been ingrained to a habit. But when I first started, I was like, how do I get the motivation to get up and go to the gym? It was as simple as doing that. Or even like in creative endeavors, say I want to start journaling more, or you saw that whiteboard out there.
Yeah.
It's sitting there right there on my dining room table. I'm like, all right, every time I see it, I know I either can make an entry or not make an entry. It doesn't automatically mean I'm going to make an entry. It's just raising awareness to the fact that, hey, I can do this or I can't do that. If I don't do it, I didn't make progress. If I do it, I'm like, cool. So the trigger tool's real power is kind of setting out reminders.
Yeah.
And it's something that you and I have in common, because I found out something about you prior to this podcast. It's that you read that book.
I did.
Yeah.
David Goggins.
David Goggins.
What a guy.
What a guy. And so David Goggins kind of has the same thing with the accountability mirror. So like having Post-it notes up. And so a lot of people will use that. Like stick a Post-it note like on your bathroom mirror when you get up. It's like, all right, I need to do this today. It's not going to make you magically do it. If it were that easy, everyone will have their goals already. All it does is like still a little bit of that mental energy. It's like, all right, I have this goal. It's time for me to enter that mental room to get it done. Whether you do it or don't, at that point, it's your decision. But that trigger tool is just a quick reminder.
And I think with the trigger tool, like it makes you sit there and think like, all right, am I going to do this or am I not going to do this? And if you do it, you're like, all right, cool. You feel a little bit like accomplished. Like I check that off. And if you don't, I don't know how you handle it, but for me, I'm like, I just immediately regret it. You feel like a piece of crap. You're like, oh man.
You never feel good when you look at that trigger tool and it kind of snatches you close the door to that room.
Yeah.
It's like, I missed a chance to grow. And the thing is, even if you go in that room for like 5 or 10 minutes, like when you first start going to the gym, if you only go there for 20 minutes, it's like, all right, that's still making progress. If that's all you do, that's all you do. But it's better than 0 minutes. Yep. You're still making positive gains in that room.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, Greg, how do you use a trigger tool? Do you have any?
I don't know if I necessarily have like a trigger tool. Yeah. I would say like I know you'd mentioned like, Post-it notes. Like I always do like a to-do list. Like to get to the gym, you just look at yourself in the mirror. You're like, yeah, I should probably go to the gym today. Well, body dysmorphia never hurt nobody, but
Body dysmorphia is huge. You and I met at the gym, and everyone there is just like this morning crusher. And that's part of the reason why I started this whole podcast, because I'm like, you guys are impressive people. Like, I want to hear your stories. I want to hear, like, I call them in between, like between the sets conversations. Because I'm like, you have like a 2-minute rest period coming up. Let me come harass you and ask you questions like, hey, how you doing? What's going on in your life, And I realized like 2 minutes is not enough, because you guys have these ingrained tools to at least get up and go to the gym before the sun rises. And I think it's one of the most impressive things ever. And the whole thing with body dysmorphia, it's real. I think everyone that goes to the gym has some aspect of it, whether they admit it or not. I know I do. I'm like super insecure about a lot of things.
No, guilty. Yeah,
guilty.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so it's like, how do you kind of fight back against that body dysmorphia?
For me, it's like, all right, you notice a little bit of progress.
Yeah.
Like whether it be like maybe a vein pops out, or like you see some definition, or like the clothes fit differently. Like for me, like I've noticed like some of my clothes fit differently. You still look at yourself in the mirror, you see yourself one way, and you're like, all right, I'm still going to use that as motivation because I'm not where I want to be. But you can also kind of celebrate your wins a little bit and be like, oh, I've lost, X amount of weight, or I've noticed, this fits different, whether it be trying to gain muscle, my clothes are tighter. You're doing something right.
Yeah.
Or trying to lose weight. I might not have a 6-pack, but this shirt used to be tight. Now it's lighter. I mean, just kind of taking the wins, but still staying like hungry, I guess, for like not getting complacent, I guess would probably be the word that I would use for that.
And it's funny because Mr. Goggins has a tool for that too. The cookie jar. It's like whenever you have a win, like whenever you're going through tough times, pull that one. He calls them cookies in his cookie jar.
Yep.
Obviously, they're not actual cookies because, he's David Goggins.
Yeah.
But the whole point of the cookie jar is like, let's celebrate the ones that we have and use that win as fuel for next time. But I think the biggest drawback is that cookies can go stale. So it's like you have to keep refreshing that cookie jar. You have to keep kind of hyping yourself up. Like for me, I know no matter what, even if I spent the whole weekend eating and drinking like a madman, the next day I'm like, all right, I got to take a body photo and I got to check my weight. I do that no matter what. And sometimes I know it's going to be 7, 8, 9 pounds higher than it was that Friday before. But I'm like, all right, you have awareness to it. What are you going to do about it?
Yep.
And so it's like kind of having markers in place definitely helps kind of like the progress in general. And I just think body dysmorphia is like this thing that people don't talk about a whole lot, but it's real. I mean, guys have it, girls have it, everyone has it. The question is like, it kind of helps drive you to kind of act, but at the same time, you can't let it consume you.
Yeah.
So I think that's huge and fascinating.
I'd agree with that. And it's like, I don't know, the wins, same thing that you do. Like after a long weekend, you're like, all right, I'll get on the scale Monday. You look at it and you're like, oh, all right, well, salads it is. And then you kind of, you do it again on Friday or whatever the routine is. And like, all right, this is a little bit better. One thing I have been starting to do though, because like, I don't know, I go for certain numbers, but I also realize like there's certain points where like if you're lifting heavy, like you still might be putting on muscle, losing fat. I'm completely blanking where I was going with that. Oh, this is where I was going with that. It's like if there's a day where I get up and like I'm feeling good throughout the day, like all right, let me weigh myself. Let me see what that is.
Yeah.
And if it's this number or that number, okay, I feel good at this weight. Now I don't want to stay at that weight, but like. That's, all right, I don't feel like a slob or something like that.
Yeah.
And then, all right, now if I feel this way at this weight, what am I going to feel like if I lose 5 more pounds?
Let's find out.
What am I going to feel at 10 more? And then, obviously pool season's coming up. So it's like cardio, Zen diet, see what happens.
Not the Zen diet.
Something special.
Something special. But I think so long as we're letting the wins fuel us and not let it, I guess, make us complacent. I think that's kind of the big key here.
Yeah.
So like you had like the cookie jar and you have like these things like the trigger tools. Like, yes, these are good tools to have, but they aren't going to themselves be the action. They're just like little slight reminders to kind of like, all right, let me just check in with myself.
Yep.
The first step for any type of personal development is like raising awareness to where you are. And if you're like hiding from the scale, it's like, hey, guess what? Your weight's not going to change by hiding from the scale. Like it is what it is. Either you're going to raise awareness to do something about it or you're not. And it's really that simple. At that point, the decision is yours.
Yeah. And like being complacent, I feel like we all get to that point at some point.
Yeah.
Like last year before I tore my ACL, like I was feeling good. I'm like, maybe I can cheat a little bit more instead of having one day, maybe I'll have two, maybe I'll have three. And I tore my ACL and then I ballooned back up and I was like, all right. Now, you kind of snaps you back into like, all right, you're losing focus a little bit. Kind of getting you back on like the right path for you, I guess.
As someone that has suffered also a knee injury, how did you kind of process tearing your ACL and kind of like what that did for your workout progress?
So I kind of knew what I was getting into because I tore my other one in high school. So like the recovery, I kind of knew like, all right, you're going to gain some weight. You're not going to be able to do stuff. So the second time it was more of, let's just try to mitigate the weight gain.
Yeah.
And just focus on getting this back to normal, because the quicker you can get this back to normal, the quicker you can get back into your routine. So, I tore it I had surgery on a Tuesday, had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off, and then was back working Monday.
Yeah.
But it was like, all right, the couple days I have off, whatever they told me to do, like I was trying to like almost double it. Like if they're like, I had to do like little leg pump, like feet pumps.
Oh, I remember that.
I'm like, all right, I'm just going to sit there and just pump it away, because it's like the quicker I get back, the quicker I can get back to doing what I want, whether it be working out, going out with people, because going out on crutches sucks, golfing, just any of that stuff. So going through it when I was younger kind of set the expectation of like, all right, I know what to expect. It's going to suck. There's going to be the days where it hurts really bad and you still got to push through it. And there's going to be the days where you're like, oh, I feel like I'm back to normal. And I still probably got another month or two. So having gone through that experience as a 17-year-old versus a 27-year-old definitely, I think, made it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Granted, it was 10 years, so like the recovery time was a little bit shorter anyways. But just going in with the like, all right, embrace the suck, like just get through it as quickly as you can, and then you'll be back. It's not a permanent thing. Just keep pushing and you'll be fine.
And I will say, your kind of like kind words to me when I went to my knee surgery earlier this year have helped me out a lot. I mean, you stepped up and just gave me your ice pack, and it's been a game changer. And I think I had also surgeries. I had this one decades ago, it feels like, and then this one this year. And I kind of forgot what kind of setback it would be. And so you're saying like, hey, trust the process. Hey, just do what the doctor tells you to do. You'll be back. It's just a little short setback. I went through it. You can do it too. Like, although I kind of have all these mental tools, I'm like, oh, the big ones that I use, like working out and everything, like biking, it's like all those were just kind of put on the shelf temporarily.
Yeah.
So kind of your experience and your kind words helped me kind of formulate a plan to go forward. And I really appreciate that.
Well, I'm glad I could help. And it kind of goes back to what we were talking about, like asking people for help and getting advice. And I know you were saying you're using, frozen corn or whatever to ice it. It's like, dude, I got this thing. Give it a try. It worked for me. It might work for you. I'm glad to hear it worked. And, someone's always been through what you're going through.
Yeah.
And I think especially like surgery related, and, I know when you were going through your shoulder, like you were still able to get to the gym, you could do stuff. But when you have a lower body injury, it's like, well, now I'm bedridden or I'm just going to be around here. It's really easy to kind of fall into like, I don't necessarily want to say depression, because that's never what I was in, but I know some people might go through that. But it's easy just to be like, oh, crap. Like, I hate this. When in reality, like, all right, it's going to be a couple, you know how it is. Like, you're going to be on crutches for a couple weeks. Then you're going to start getting, a little bit more normal walking, and just keep pushing through it, icing it, doing what they tell you to do, doing your own strengthens. I saw you doing leg curls like 2 weeks after it. Blew my mind, but there you were doing it. And now look at you. You're under the squat rack. That's awesome to see.
Putting up 400 tomorrow.
Let's do it.
I won't be able to put it back down, but I'm putting it up.
You know what? All you need is the picture and people to be like, that guy's got 400 pounds on his back. He must be really cool.
Let's see the video. I'm like, oh, sorry.
The camera died.
The camera died.
I mean, if you need an excuse, I got you with excuses.
You're good.
So
let me ask you this, as far as like how you approach your recovery and everything, especially going from the lessons learned from one knee to the next knee. Why do you think like that?
Well, I think the experience itself kind of like helped, because when I first tore it, I was going into my junior year of high school, and that's kind of when you really needed to be like for baseball, because I wanted to go to college to play. Tore it, and you're just like, all right, well, my summer's over, which is the most important summer for this. So like, you're kind of just like down on your luck. Woe is me, woe is me. And then obviously going through it now, crutching around an office as a 27-year-old man is not the coolest thing, but just learning from the experience, like what did I do when I was going through it the first time that I liked or that worked? And then what did I do or think the first time that I didn't like? And just learning from that. Personal experience is, I think, a great teaching tool. And it's like, well, this is the situation I'm in. Can't really just untear it like it's torn. I'm going to get surgery. Might as well just try to get through it quick and not be a negative Nancy, because I don't know about you. It gets exhausting being around people that are just very negative all the time. I get, you're going to have a bad day, whatever. But I think we all have those friends that like everything is just the end of the world, and that's kind of exhausting to me at times. So might as well, like, I'm in a situation that nobody would blame me for being negative. Why not be positive? Just kind of do my own thing and handle it the way Greg wants to handle it.
Bro, I want to cheers that. That was fantastic.
Thank you.
Now that we have some good backstory and you did your homework assignment and some good bourbon in us, Greg, let me ask you this. What personal development tool do you use to kind of find the best path forward in your own life?
I would say, kind of going back to what I was talking about, like lists and setting the goals. Like for work, I'll have a to-do list. And as you know, like you get kind of pulled around every which way. But if I can scratch off all of those, to me, I'm like, all right, that's a successful day.
All right, so to-do list. I like that. So how did you first come up with a to-do list?
I would say when I first started in my old role, it was just like there's kind of you're drinking from a firing hose, and it was really easy to miss things that I should not have missed. So you get burned a couple times, you touch the flame and you're like, I probably shouldn't do that anymore. And for me, what I realized was I'm pretty scatterbrained as is. So the night before, right before I'd leave work, I'd write, what do I need to do tomorrow? And then, I'd get in, start on that. And then when I get pulled away, I still have my, 8 to 10 things that I've got to get done. And what I found was when I started to do that, I felt that my performance started to improve because, whether it's 5 o'clock and I'm done with everything and I can go home, or if it's like I still got 2 more things, I got to stay till 5:30, 6 o'clock, tomorrow me is going to thank me for doing that. And I think that helped me a lot. And then just even, a Saturday or something, if you've got stuff that you have to do, nobody really wants to go run, do errands and chores and all that. But Monday, you's going to thank you for going to the store that weekend. And I also think you just feel good when you can visually cross something off. I think it just makes you feel like you've just won something. So you get 10 of those things, you feel unstoppable.
You feel unstoppable.
You're like, bring on the other issues. But yes, the to-do list, I felt like just kind of made me a little bit more productive, a little bit more like just on track. Because again, I kind of go all over the place if you can't tell. And I think having something that's like, I've got to get these done, hold you accountable. And kind of to your point with like the triggers, like if I see one thing that's not crossed off, I have to make the decision. Do I leave or do I do this? And then if I don't do it, you're walking out the door and you're like, I'm gonna open up my laptop when I get home and do it. Or you can just do it, cross it off, and then when you leave, you're done for the day.
I like the visual idea of like crossing things off the list. So for your to-do list, is it something that's like digital or do you handwrite it out?
Normally I try to handwrite it. If I'm like traveling or don't have the ability to jot it down, I'll just go on my notes or like set a reminder for stuff to do. But typically I'll have either, a little post-it note or like a journal like that, have a handful of things and cross them off as I go.
I think crossing off is powerful. It's like, I did it. And it's good cookie dough to make a cookie. It's like, all right, in case I get caught up later on, you can look back in the past like, oh, I did that.
And even like with some of those days where, maybe you have 10 action items you want to do. you don't get through all 10, but you look, hey, I got through 7 of them and I did all this other stuff. That might make it a little bit easier to be like, all right, these 3 things are smaller. I can wait till tomorrow. Or you do them, you're like, man, I got all these things done on top of the, 15 other things that came through. Like, it can really set yourself up to just kind of ride the momentum.
I think momentum is huge, and I think kind of having this to-do list is good. So do you kind of like have a journal filled with like things that you've crossed off, or is it like a whiteboard?
It's usually like, as of late, it's just been sticky notes.
Okay.
And it's like, once I finish one, crumble up, throw it away. I have thought about getting like a whiteboard. I had that when I was in the office just because it's right there so you can see it. But once I started working from home, it's been more or less just like scratch paper that I have.
Scratch paper. So I love the idea that you kind of like physically write it out in the real world when you can. And then the second thing you said was kind of 8 to 10 things. That seems like a lot though.
So it kind of just depends on like the role. Like in my previous one, like getting through 8 to 10 things was normal. Now where I'm not dealing as much with every single issue, when issues they have to more or less like bubble up to me a little bit. So my 8 to 10 things maybe shrank to 4 to 5.
Okay.
But you can also find stuff to do. Like there's, that email that you haven't responded to because it's not super urgent, but you still need to get a response to it. Like throwing that on there or just cleaning up the emails. Like that's one thing that, I'll get 50 to 100 a day. And then you're just like, all right, maybe 25 of them are stuff that I actually need to acknowledge. That inbox fills up very quickly when you go a week. So going in there, like that might be one of my things, like clean up this week's inbox. Little things that really don't take too much time. And, most people I don't feel like are busy 8 hours a day. You're going to have some time here and there to do that. And, it's more productive to do that than to sit on your phone and scroll, which guilty, but you kind of, all right, when you're sitting on your 15th reel that you're looking through, you're like, I should probably do something productive. A
little bit. That trigger tool looks at you and you look at it. It's like, all right, 2 more reels.
Exactly.
20 more reels. So you guys meet in the middle ground.
It keeps you, I feel guilty if I don't do stuff that I need to do. So like for me, it's like, all right, I'm going to feel like a piece of crap if I don't do this. So I'll do it.
And just get it done.
Exactly.
You don't feel like a piece of crap, and also you get to scratch off that thing from your list.
Exactly.
All right, so I have write it down in the real world, and then also kind of set a number of items to do. And that number can depend on your job. If you have like a super intense job where you have to be super involved, maybe it's 3 to 5. If it's like, hey, I can kind of pick up things to do, it could be 8 to 10. So what else would you give as far as advice to someone kind of starting out a to-do list?
I would say set reasonable expectations or goals. I'm going to put this one more to the gym just because I can speak to it. Like if you're just getting into it, don't say I want to go bench press 315. Say I want to get 135.
Yeah.
Like setting reasonable, like realistic goals that you can work to. Because as you know, like if you set this, it's going to take a while to get to it.
Yeah.
And now for somebody like you who's, you're up at 3:30 biking, like you can set some of those higher goals because you've proven that like you're going to put in the work, like you're in your habits. Somebody who's just getting into it, rather than doing, and I feel like a lot of people do this with like cardio. It's like, I'm going to start off, I'm going to do 30 minutes on the, cross trainer, the elliptical or bike or whatever. You got to work up to that.
Got to.
And like for me, I started doing that little like cross trainer thing. I don't know what it's actually called, but like I was like, all right, I started off at 7 minutes. Doesn't seem like a long time. Wasn't really a long time, but I'm like, I'm going to get 7 minutes, do that for a few weeks, then I'm going to go to 10, then I'm going to go to 15. Then, then you can kind of gradually move it. But for me, like now I'll do, 25 to 30. And it's like, if I would have just started like that, there's no way I would still be doing it. I would have done it for a week or two, been like, this stinks, I'm going to just go walk. Which is fine, you're still getting your cardio in, but if you've got like, I want to get to 30 minutes, like you've got to hit a couple different stages before you start doing that. And I think a lot of people just, because I've seen it, like they go so gung-ho, whether it's they're going to the gym 7 days a week or they're in there for hours, they're trying to do heavy weight, and it's like, if you're used to doing that, okay, maybe, that's a little bit more realistic. But if you're just starting and you expect to be hitting X, Y, and Z, it's like set realistic goals that you can achieve in 6 months, because that'll keep you coming back.
And I think it's huge what you said there, because it's all about kind of building habits. Do you know what Quitter's Day is?
I do not.
So Quitter's Day, I think, is like 2 weeks after New Year's.
That's my favorite time of the year.
Yeah. So New Year's resolutions, people come in. We both see them in the gym. And it's like in January, it's like just packed. And we know, I think it's 2 weeks. 2 weeks or maybe like the second week in February, something like that. It's shockingly quick. I know that much. And it's because people have like these unrealistic goals. Like they go from going to the gym 0 times and then going to the gym 5 or 6 times a week. And chances are, if your body's not used to that, those tendons, even if they aren't used to that strain, you're not going to be feeling good.
Yeah.
And because that habit hasn't been ingrained in you, it's just not going to work out for you at all. And so I think it's great for you to say, like, set reasonable expectations, set reasonable goals. If you know that on your list is like 8 to 10 things to do, set reasonable goals. Like, yeah, that to-do list might spill over till tomorrow, because like 4 or 5 of those are going to take up a lot of time.
Yeah.
And if I rush to get through all 10 of them, either I'm going to be burned out or the work is going to be wrong. And so I think it's good to kind of have patience with yourself and set reasonable goals.
And I think you've got to be patient. You've got to understand the situation. Like you said, if you never go to the gym, maybe you go 3 days a week. Or, I'm going to go 3 days and work out. I'll do 2 days of cardio, something like that. But it's when you go just so hard, so fast, you burn yourself out. And like, I feel like with like the weight loss journey, like, cause I know you've been on it, like I'm on it, you're not going to see the results that you want like that. And I think it just kind of gets you into the habit of like, all right, it didn't come on in one day. It's not going to come off in one day. So just the consistency.
Consistency is key. You got to be patient with yourself.
Yeah.
So what happens if you don't kind of mark off that thing on your to-do list for that day? How do you kind of approach that mentally?
So normally I'll, me maybe think about the day, like what else did I do? What pulled me? Why didn't I get this done? If I didn't get it done because I was on the phone for, this, that, and the other. Okay. Maybe you don't be too hard on yourself, but if it's like, I just took a longer lunch, I was talking at the water fountain, then I think you should be a little bit more hard on yourself. And that's one thing I think you've got to internally you don't want to be too hard on yourself, but I also think at some point you kind of got to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, come on, what are you doing? And like, I think sometimes some people go to the extremes of each. It's like they're going to have an excuse for why they didn't get everything done. And then other people are going to be like, they just ran a marathon. They're like, I need to go run another one right now. It's like, you don't have to be that hard on yourself. But I do think, like, for me, I am tough on myself in certain things, but giving yourself a little bit of leeway and understanding, like, for me, like, I play volleyball on Sundays for 2 hours. So, like, my knees are shot. So Monday I might not do, legs, or I might not do some of the stuff that I would do on a Thursday when I'm fresh. But it's like, I did all of this, so I can justify maybe pushing something off a little bit, but not completely ignoring it.
I think that's huge. And I digested that down to your 4th step here. So I'm going to recap them for you.
Let's do it. I forgot what I said.
That's what I'm here for. Taking notes in paper form, just like you recommended. So this is your to-do list. And don't worry, I'm going to ask you for the name of it after I'm done rattling these off.
All right.
Get your mind ready. Number 1 is to write it in the real world. Number 2, set out a number of items to do. Number 3, set reasonable expectations and goals. And last but not least, assess the why behind any misses and respond accordingly. So if you miss something on the actual day, assess the why you missed it. If you missed it because you were just so slammed with other important things, okay, maybe show yourself a little bit of a grace. But if you missed it because you're sitting there doom scrolling for 3 hours, okay, kind of look in that accountability mirror and be like, what am I doing with my life? I enjoy that.
Yeah.
So do you have any other steps that you kind of implement for your to-do list?
Just do it, I guess. A little Nike action, a little Shia LaBeouf. Just do it.
I don't think I can use that because it's trademarked, Like, just do it.
Just attempt it. Very, very ferociously attempt it.
I think we could say it. We just can't make money off of it. And I don't plan on making money off of just do it. Just do it.
I mean,
We'll have that be our secret step.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The viewers get it.
Yeah,
they
they'll
understand what's going on.
They'll see 4, but they understand there's a secret 5th one.
Yeah, we won't write it down. We
won't write it
put
down.
it anywhere, but like they'll know. Like
Nike
you just got to get
executives,
after
the
it.
pen is down. There we go. I'm picking it back up because I need the name of your tool. So, Greg, what are you calling this thing?
That's the $1 million question. What am I calling this thing? I would say Greg's key to success.
Greg's keys to success.
There it is. Got a nice ring to it.
It does. So I'm going to recap them real quick.
Let me hear it.
So Greg has 4 keys to success. The first is write it in the real world. The second is set out a number of items to do. Third is set reasonable expectations and goals. The fourth is assess the why behind any misses and respond accordingly. And of course, there are only 4. 4 things. 4 things only, not a secret 5th one.
No, don't do it. Don't just do it.
Oh my God.
I said don't just do it.
But yeah, I feel like everyone's just hearing the just do it part.
I just emphasize it a little bit harder. Don't just do it.
Don't
but
just
like
do it.
nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Get after it.
Yeah, like 1 through 4 is yours, and then number 5 is just do 1 through 4.
Yeah.
You're not even claiming number 5.
I don't see number 5 on there.
It's close. You ain't seeing
Exactly.
anything. There we
Yeah.
go. Yeah, case closed.
You're a lawyer. You can get us out
Yeah,
of this.
case
right?
closed. Case dismissed.
There it
No,
is.
That never. I can't say as a lawyer.
Slam the gavel.
I don't have a gavel as a lawyer. Like those are judges. I guess judges are lawyers, but
You
like
should get a gavel here.
that would be
Just poof.
that would be a lot. I would
Lay
wear
the hammer
glasses.
down.
Lay the hammer down. So, Greg, as we wrap up here, do you have anything you want to say to the people?
Stay positive because life's short. You never know when you're going to end it. And, just be nice. Like everyone, when you walk in with a smile, I feel like positive energies are contagious. You don't want to be the person that nobody wants to be around, at least in my opinion. Maybe you do. But I would just say, don't take things too serious. They don't need to be taken too seriously. Lift heavy is always fun. And just kind of go about your day and don't sweat the little things.
Don't sweat the little things. I couldn't have said it better myself. I can't wait for you to come back here after we have our Smash Brothers competition tournament.
I think episode 2 should be happening soon.
Oh, we get to cry in front of everyone.
I'll cry.
Yeah, I will too.
I'll cry as hard as I need to cry.
I'll cry because you're crying and I'll feel bad, but I'll still win.
We'll just hug it out.
We'll just hug it
We'll
out.
just hug it out. That'll be good.
All right, Greg. Thanks for being here, brother.
Dan the man, thank you for having
Absolutely.
me. I appreciate it.
All right, we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you for watching and listening to today's episode. Chances are you're looking to embark on your own personal development journey. I'm not going to lie to you. True personal development is hard, and it's supposed to be hard. That's because you're not only changing who you are, but how you operate. The aim of this podcast is to give you a community of people that are striving to do the same. So like and subscribe to the channel, but more importantly, comment below on how you plan on using today's tool to find your own best path forward. We'll see you next time.